Hi everyone, Agnes here. Now, I put a post up in the community tab asking you, which parts of self-love are you struggling with? So I'm going to work through your comments and let's see if I can help you a little bit with this. First comment is from Ho Bak Ah, feeling confident, radiant and beautiful. Every time I compliment myself, not an affirmation, just a little thought, like if I see my reflection and say, you're looking pretty today, within minutes someone will say something in opposition. And it's very upsetting. It has happened many times. Okay, firstly, when this happens, it's not what you are saying to yourself, but it's what you are believing underneath, okay? So ask yourself, do I really think those things about myself, the nice comments I'm trying to make and improve? And looking underneath, what is it that I've got going on about it? So if I'm making the comment, am I trying to change and override something on the inside? Okay. And also, there is the part about the pretty quick comments that happen in opposition. Ask yourself, is this a self-fulfilling prophecy? Am I expecting that? Has it happened time and time again that I'm saying to myself, oh, I've just made a comment, now let's watch what happens now. Wait for the other shoe to drop. Have you got that going on in your psyche? Okay? Because it's what we do and what we're trying to do, manifesting self-love, improving our positivity and all these things, we're doing that on the surface level and that's good. We're practicing, we're trying. But it's what we really believe and what we really think and what we really feel that wins, okay? And sometimes we need to practice those external things for some time until the tide turns, okay? So it's looking at two halves of the nut. Yes, I'm saying this to myself, but what am I expecting will happen, or what am I believing will happen after that? So just have a look at that and see, is that what is happening? And if I am doing that, well, then that's something I can correct within myself. Every time I say a wonderful thing about myself, isn't it fantastic? I see the reflection, as in someone says something to confirm it. Not that they negate what I'm trying to do, okay? Number 2 question, Katya, PP. I feel that when I am alone, I can build this love for myself. But when I am around people, I feel awful sometimes and I care too much about the perception that others have of me. I make the worst scenario in my head that I am bothering the rest, that I'm not interesting and I don't fit. I don't think that of myself when I am alone. I mean, it's like I know this is not true of myself, but in a social context, I feel like that. Okay. Yeah, I think self-love is much easier to do when you are in your own space, uninterrupted by others, and then you can really focus on what you're doing, and there's no intrusion. There's no cutting into what you're doing. No one's doing anything from the outside. So it's easier to maintain and to sustain. Now, when you have to go out into the world, that's where your triggers are. Like you said, you have very specific, you said, worst scenarios in your head. And you are bringing those to the surface. So when I'm around people, I'm not interesting. When I'm around others, I don't fit in. And when you think these things, they become the experience, as in people might reflect it back to you. And then you go, well, see, that's true about me. Well, it's not true about you. It's you are creating the fertile soil for the seeds to be planted, for it to grow, for it to become true. Okay? So it's working on, when I'm with others, I have a wonderful time. I belong. I love the interactions I have with people. The interactions I have with people can be so much fun. I love attracting people that are of like mind. I love my flock. Okay? And you practice that so that it brings out a wonderful experience of fitting in, a wonderful experience of being able to hold your self-love in check, whether you're at home or surrounded by others. So I would look at changing those thoughts about I am interesting and I do fit in. And I am interesting and I do fit in with the right people, my flock, the ones I'm interested in. It's not always about looking at if you fit in with others. Look about whether other people fit in with you. Because that's stopping the I need attention from them, or I need approval from them, or I need validation from them. Okay? You can also try and do some inner child work, which go back and look at who did this first come up with at school, with my siblings, with my parents, whether it was at church, whether it was in my neighborhood, whoever. Look at where did you first feel this, I don't fit in, and I'm bothering people, and I'm not interesting. Where did you first feel that? Because the past is still alive in you, and the cord goes back to those times when we were smaller. Okay, so if you can do that, that's a really good place to start. And then what I would do is practice the inner child meditation to release the old emotions. And then you pull the cork on the old, and then the present rearranges itself. Okay? Now, I'm going to do one more for this particular video. Shivanji, you said, I feel that I can love myself, but I can't be loved. Following your videos for around 4 to 5 years now, and there's been a shift in terms of self-love. Okay. But when I affirm things like I am loved, I instantly feel like, but only by myself, not by others. Okay. So there's a few things and a few parts to this. When you say I am loved, it's about not putting the focus on other people loving you, okay? Now, you could say to me, well, I'm not actually focusing on others loving me. I'm actually focusing on others not loving me. This is what my statement is, but only myself, not by others. So again, I would go back and look at where did you first feel this? Who was it with? And go and do some inner child work on that particular thought and release the old emotion from back then, and then it changes what happens today. It rearranges the present, okay? So also, when you say I am loved, think of it coming from source, from infinite intelligence, from that beautiful presence that runs this planet, and get into the state of I am loved by that presence. That's a good place to start. And trust that you can develop that. Once you get good at that, you will see love from others. It's the inside is always the first part. The second part is the mirror, the external. So you have had obviously experiences where you have not been loved by others. So it's releasing that emotion, letting that out. I know many of us have not been loved by others, especially those that we wanted love from. So it's healing the hurt, healing the pain, healing the suffering, healing the wounds that were created when we could not fend for ourselves. Okay? And there are 2 meditations, I am love, I am loved. And one is about 40 minutes long. Another one is about an hour long. Not an hour, 8 hours. So you can play it in the night if it's affecting you, or you can just choose a piece of it, for during the day. So it's letting go, I think, of needing love from others. And once you let go of the need, that's when you will see it. It always is a domino effect. Correct the inside, the outside changes. Correct the inside, the outside changes. Now, there is a wonderful YouTube from Michael Singer, and it's called from loving, from needing love to being love. It's all about this that we're talking about today. I will put the link down below in the description for you, and I would highly suggest that all of you that I've commented on your self-love comments here perhaps might take some time to have a look at it. It is really well worded, wonderfully enlightening, and I think you just might enjoy it, as in for it to give you relief. Okay? So lots of love, everyone. I will continue to go through these questions because this was the idea, was to be able to pinpoint what it is that you're struggling with. I can tell you what I know about self-love, but sometimes I'm not sure where you're stuck. So I thought I would just do a poll to get that from you so that I can work with where you are at the moment. I will put the self-love meditations playlist up here next to my head and in the description, and also I will put the self-love success stories. Please take the time to go through it. There are lots of wonderful nuggets within those as well. Lots of love, everybody, and I'll see you again, as always, in the next YouTube.